Before we start, just a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. Only 2% are subscribers. At 1,000 subscribers, I'll be posting a special video. Beneath the icy sheath of Europa, Captain Aria Jensen's boots crunched over the frozen terrain, the sound stark against the silence that enveloped the moon. The icy crust shimmered under the faint glow of Jupiter, looming large in the sky. Its massive storms a swirl of colors against the darkness of space. Aria's breath fogged her visor, each exhale a reminder of the cold desolation surrounding her and her team as they made their way towards the excavation site. The team had been on Europa for 2 months, initially setting up base and conducting preliminary surveys, but today was different. Today, they were about to uncover something that could change the course of human history. The scanner drones had detected an anomaly deep beneath the surface, a structure not matching any known natural formations. It was Aria's job to ensure that whatever they found stayed secure, a task assigned to her by the United Earth Forces due to her expertise in both combat and xenoarchaeology. As they approached the site, the ground sloped downwards, leading into a cavern that had been exposed by their diggers. The airlock door of the temporary base hissed open, and Aria led her team inside. The base was sparse, functional, with equipment neatly organized and monitors flickering with data. They changed into their specialized suits designed for deeper excavation, suits equipped with enhanced life support systems and augmented reality visors to help them navigate and assess the environment. Their target was a chamber about 30 meters below the ice, where the anomaly was located. The descent was slow, the walls of the tunnel they traversed shimmering with ice crystals that reflected their lights back at them in dazzling arrays. The tension among the team was palpable, a mix of excitement and the weight of uncertainty about what they might find. Reaching the chamber, Aria was the first to step in. Her light swept across the room, revealing a structure that was unmistakably alien. It was a spherical object, suspended in the center of the chamber, glowing with a soft blue light that pulsed rhythmically, like the beating of a heart. She approached cautiously, her training reminding her that they knew nothing of its purpose or its capabilities. Alien heart, she whispered into her comm, naming it almost instinctively. The name felt right for something so enigmatic and vital. She circled the object, her visor recording every detail, sending it back to the base where it could be analyzed. The surface of the alien heart was smooth, and as she moved closer, she felt a warmth radiating from it, a stark contrast to the biting cold of the ice around them. As she reached out a gloved hand tentatively, the surface of the object changed, morphing with a series of intricate patterns that glowed brighter. Aria retracted her hand quickly, stepping back as she watched the patterns shift and change. It was communicating, she realized. The artifact was alive in some sense, reacting to her presence. The moment marked a beginning, not just of a mission, but of a profound connection that Aria could never have anticipated. As she stood there, watching the mesmerizing display of lights, she knew her mission had just become significantly more complicated. She was no longer just a protector, she was a communicator, a liaison between humanity and an alien intelligence buried beneath the ice of Europa. The significance of the discovery was not lost on her. Here, in this remote frozen world, lay a secret that could unlock the mysteries of the universe or bring about cataclysmic change, and it was her duty to safeguard it, to ensure that whatever knowledge it held was not lost or misused. As she signaled her team to begin the operations to secure the site, Aria felt the weight of history on her shoulders, a weight she was determined to carry. Back on Earth, the revelation of the alien heart had sparked a flurry of activity at the United Earth Forces headquarters. The secure conference room buzzed with the hum of technology and low, urgent conversations as military strategists and top scientists gathered around a large holographic display that projected live images from Europa. The atmosphere was charged with a potent mix of excitement and apprehension. Aria Jensen, having been appointed as the protector of the alien heart, was at the center of these discussions. She stood firm and attentive, a solitary figure in her duty uniform, as generals and civilian leaders debated the implications of the discovery. Every so often, her communicator buzzed with updates from her team on Europa, each message reinforcing the reality of her new responsibility. General Vincent Marrow, a veteran of interstellar operations, turned the assembly's attention towards the strategic importance of the artifact. "This isn't just about scientific discovery," he emphasized, pacing slowly in front of the display. "The alien heart could be a beacon or a weapon, or something we haven't even considered. We must control it to ensure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands." Arya knew the risks. She had seen firsthand the power and the mystery of the alien heart. It wasn't just an object to be guarded. It felt almost sentient, capable of actions they couldn't yet understand. This made her mission more complex and critical. She needed to protect it, not only from potential threats, but also from human greed and fear. As the meeting progressed, a plan began to take shape. Arya was to lead a specialized team back to Europa. This team would be composed of experts in various fields: combat, communications, and xenotechnology. They would establish a fortified research base around the site of the alien heart, equipped with the latest defensive technology and research facilities. Lieutenant Michael Sorin, an expert in tactical defense systems, was assigned as her second-in-command. His expertise would be crucial in setting up and maintaining the security perimeter around the excavation site. Dr. Lena Crow, a leading xenobiologist, would lead the scientific investigation of the heart, attempting to understand its functions and origins. Before the meeting adjourned, Arya was pulled aside by Dr. Adrian Hill, the UEF's chief science advisor. "Captain Jensen," he began, his tone earnest, "your connection with the heart during the initial contact didn't go unnoticed. It reacted to you. That could be crucial in understanding it. We need to explore this interaction further, but carefully." Arya nodded, acutely aware of the burden this added to her role. "We'll proceed with caution," she assured him. "My priority is to keep the heart secure and to learn from it, not to exploit it." With the meeting concluded, preparations for the return to Europa began immediately. Arya oversaw the loading of equipment onto the transport ship: defensive modules, scientific instruments, communication arrays, and supplies for an extended stay. Each item was checked and double-checked, ensuring everything was in perfect working order. As the ship's engines rumbled to life, signaling the beginning of their journey back to Europa, Arya felt a mixture of resolve and trepidation. She was not just heading into a potentially hostile environment. She was diving deeper into the mystery of the alien heart. She understood that the decisions she would make in the coming days could affect not just her team or herself, but potentially all of humanity. The flight back to Europa was quiet, each team member absorbed in their own thoughts or preparations. Arya spent the time reviewing the data collected from their first encounter with the heart, her mind racing with possibilities and potentialities. What secrets did the alien heart hold? And more importantly, could she protect it from the world, and the world from it? The journey back to Europa was marked by an undercurrent of tense anticipation. Arya Jensen sat in the cockpit of the transport ship, watching the stars streak by as they approached the moon's orbit. The familiar icy surface came into view, its vast white expanses broken only by the dark speck of their established base camp. The weight of her mission pressed heavily on her as she considered the challenges ahead. Upon landing, Arya and her team were greeted with a sharp gust of cold air as they disembarked. The base had been expanded in their absence, now featuring more robust structures and advanced security systems designed by Lieutenant Michael Sorin. He led Arya on a quick tour, pointing out the new surveillance towers with long-range scanners and the automated defense turrets that could neutralize threats before they reached the camp perimeter. "Everything's set up to keep unwanted guests out," Michael explained, his voice filled with a mix of pride and seriousness. "But it's not just about keeping people away from the heart. We've also improved our communications array to keep us better connected with Earth and each other." Arya nodded, impressed with the upgrades but aware that technology could only do so much. The real test would come from how they managed the unknown capabilities of the alien heart. Her reunion with Dr. Lena Crow was brief but informative. Lena had set up a temporary lab near the heart's chamber, filled with equipment to monitor and study the artifact without causing harm. She shared her initial findings with Arya, showing her the fluctuating energy patterns the heart emitted and theorizing about their possible meanings. "It seems to respond to stimuli," Lena noted, tapping on her datapad to bring up a graph. "Look here, when we first entered the chamber after landing, there was a spike in energy. It's like it knew we were there. Arya considered this, her mind returning to her own strange interaction with the heart. Keep monitoring these responses. Any pattern or repetition might help us understand its intentions. As the days passed, Arya divided her time between overseeing the camp's security and working closely with Lena to explore the heart's properties. She also maintained a vigilant watch for any signs of external threats. Her concern wasn't unfounded. The significance of their discovery was too great to go unnoticed or unchallenged for long. One evening, as the Europa sun set, casting long shadows across the ice, Arya was in her quarters reviewing security footage when she noticed a slight anomaly on one of the external cameras, a brief flicker in the darkness, too quick to be a natural occurrence. She alerted her team, and they quickly mobilized, taking positions around the perimeter of the base. Armed and alert, Arya led a small squad towards the source of the disturbance. The icy wind howled around them, reducing visibility, but the thermal sensors on their suits helped them navigate. As they approached the site, the ground beneath their feet crunched louder than before, a stark reminder of the unforgiving environment they were in. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows, cloaked in a thermal suit much like their own, but without any identifying marks. The figure raised a hand in a universal gesture of peace, but Arya remained cautious, her weapon still trained on the stranger. "I mean no harm," the figure spoke through the comm unit, their voice distorted by the helmet. "I need to speak with Captain Jensen. It's about the heart." Arya signaled her team to lower their weapons but stay alert. She stepped forward, her curiosity piqued, but her mind alert to any deceit. "Who are you, and what do you know about the heart?" she demanded, her voice steady despite the swirling thoughts about potential new allies or adversaries. The figure slowly removed their helmet, revealing a human face, weathered and tired but sincere. "My name is Dr. Simon Marek. I've been studying similar artifacts for years. What you have found is not unique in the universe, but it is profoundly important. I can help you understand it, but we must act quickly." Arya weighed her options. Dr. Marek's unexpected appearance and offer of help could be a turning point, or it could be a risk too great to entertain. But as the winds of Europa howled around them, she knew that understanding the alien heart was too crucial to pass up any chance, however uncertain it might seem. With a nod, she led Dr. Marek back towards the base, her mind racing with possibilities. Could this new arrival hold the key to unlocking the secrets of the alien heart? Or was he the harbinger of new dangers? Only time would tell, but for Arya, every decision now weighed against the fate of not just her team, but potentially all of humanity. Inside the secure confines of the research base, Captain Arya Jensen and her team scrutinized Dr. Simon Marek. Despite his cooperative demeanor, Arya remained on high alert. The stakes were too high to trust a stranger without scrutiny, especially one who appeared so mysteriously at their perimeter. "Dr. Marek, if that's your real name, you'll understand the need for a thorough vetting process," Arya said firmly, her eyes locked on his. "You claim to have studied similar artifacts. We need proof of your claims and your identity." Marek nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. "Of course, Captain, I would expect nothing less." He handed over a data chip. "This contains my research and credentials. I've been tracking phenomena that may be connected to your alien heart for the better part of 2 decades. I came here because I believe what you found is a piece of a much larger puzzle." While Lieutenant Soren and a tech specialist ran checks on the information Marek provided, Arya escorted him to a secure observation area overlooking the chamber where the alien heart was kept. The artifact continued its gentle, pulsating glow, casting eerie lights over the walls of the chamber. "Tell me, Dr. Marek, why is this artifact so important?" Arya asked, her gaze not leaving the heart. Marek watched the artifact with a mixture of awe and concern. "These artifacts, or hearts as you call them, are believed to be ancient tools of harmony and balance, created by a civilization far more advanced than our own. They're not just powerful, they're sentient, capable of influencing ecosystems, weather patterns, even the fabric of space-time. But in the wrong hands they can also bring destruction." Arya absorbed his words, the significance of which was not lost on her. The potential of the alien heart was greater and more dangerous than she had imagined. It wasn't just about protecting the artifact from theft. It was about understanding its purpose and ensuring it was used wisely. As the vetting process confirmed Marek's identity and the authenticity of his research, Arya decided to involve him in their efforts to study the heart more deeply. Dr. Lena Crow, initially skeptical, soon found Marek's insights invaluable. Together, they worked to decode the signals emitted by the heart, slowly piecing together the language it used. Their breakthrough came one quiet morning when the heart, responding to their experiments, displayed a complex series of patterns that Marek identified as a form of communication. "It's trying to tell us something," Marek exclaimed, his voice a mix of excitement and urgency. "Look at the repetition and variation in the pattern. This could be a warning or a message." The team intensified their efforts, using Marek's algorithms to interact with the heart. Arya watched, fascinated and tense, as the artifact responded to their inputs with increasing complexity. Then suddenly the chamber filled with a harmonic sound, a clear tone that resonated through the walls and into their very bones. "It's music, or something like it. A form of expression," Lena whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. The team stood, mesmerized by the sound, feeling an unexplained sense of calm and clarity. Arya felt a deep connection in that moment, a realization that they were not merely in the presence of a powerful object, but a being of immense wisdom and depth. Her duty to protect the heart deepened into a commitment to understand and respect it, to ensure its message, whatever it might be, was heard and heeded. As the sound faded, the team was left in a reflective silence, each member affected by the encounter in ways they couldn't yet articulate. Arya knew then that their mission was entering a new phase, one that would require not just vigilance and strength, but empathy and an open mind. The journey ahead would be fraught with challenges, but with the alien heart now actively engaging with them, they had a chance to bridge the gap between the unknown and the known, between fear and understanding. In the days that followed the alien heart's enigmatic serenade, the base buzzed with a renewed sense of purpose. Dr. Simon Marek and Dr. Lena Crow continued their collaboration, delving deeper into the artifact's communications, translating its patterns and sounds into understandable data. Captain Arya Jensen, meanwhile, maintained a vigilant watch over the team's progress, ensuring their operations remained secure and uninterrupted. As they decoded more messages from the alien heart, it became apparent that the artifact was not only sentient, but also deeply aware of its surroundings. It reacted not just to physical stimuli, but to the emotions and intentions of those around it. The team observed that periods of harmony and focused cooperation among them often led to more active and complex communications from the heart. This entity, this heart, it's like it's testing us, learning about us as much as we are about it, Marek mused during one of their strategy meetings. It's as if it's trying to understand our capacity for cooperation, and perhaps our worthiness. Arya pondered Marek's words. The responsibility weighed heavily on her. If the heart was assessing their intentions, it was crucial that they approached every interaction with respect and integrity. The implications of this relationship went beyond scientific discovery. It touched on moral and ethical dimensions that she hadn't anticipated when she first accepted the mission. The breakthrough in communication led to a startling revelation one evening. As Lena adjusted the interface settings, the heart emitted a low, pulsating hum that gradually formed into a clear message. The walls of the lab displayed holographic images projected by the heart, showing scenes of ecological balance, flourishing alien flora and fauna, and then shifting to scenes of destruction and decay. "It's showing us its memories, or its warnings," Lena whispered, transfixed by the vivid images. "These could be its experiences, maybe even its fears." Arya watched the changing displays, a sense of urgency growing within her. It was becoming clear that the alien heart held knowledge of cosmic importance. It knew of life's fragility and the destructive capabilities that could lead to ruin. This was not just an alien artifact, it was a custodian of ecological balance, possibly designed to guide or even intervene in the evolution of planets. As the team absorbed the gravity of the heart's messages, their mission evolved from mere protection to active stewardship. Arya initiated discussions with Earth Command, detailing their findings and advocating for a measured approach to the heart's capabilities. She argued that they were not merely dealing with technology, but with a form of life that demanded ethical considerations. Our interactions with the heart must be governed by more than curiosity or fear of its power. We must engage with it as a partner, learning from it and respecting its wisdom, Arya proposed in a secure transmission to her superiors. The response from Earth was mixed. While many recognized the unique opportunity to advance human understanding and foster interstellar stewardship, others were driven by fear and the desire to control or exploit the heart's powers. The political and military implications were profound, and debates raged over the course of action. Meanwhile, security alerts became more frequent. Unidentified probes and surveillance drones began appearing near the base, a sign that other interested parties were closing in, drawn by the reports of the heart's activities. Arya bolstered their defenses, coordinating closely with Lieutenant Soren to ward off any attempts to breach their security. One night, as a storm raged over Europa's icy surface, a coordinated attack tested the base's defenses. Mysterious assailants, sophisticated and silent, infiltrated the perimeter, forcing Arya and her team into a desperate defense. Amid the chaos, the alien heart reacted violently, its chamber flooding with blinding light and energy that repelled the attackers. Breathing heavily after the skirmish, Arya stood by the heart, her resolve hardened. "We're not just protecting a relic," she declared to her team, who gathered, bruised but unbeaten. "We're guarding a legacy, a call to preserve and cherish life, not destroy it." The encounter left the team more united and determined than ever. With the heart's guidance, they prepared for whatever challenges lay ahead, knowing that the path they chose could alter the course of life across the universe. Arya felt a deep connection to the heart, a bond forged in the fires of conflict and illuminated by shared purpose. She knew that whatever decisions they made, the journey ahead would redefine humanity's place in the cosmos. As word of the alien heart's capabilities spread, the geopolitical landscape back on Earth shifted dramatically. The artifact was no longer a mere curiosity or a scientific anomaly. It was a beacon that had captured the attention of the world's powers. In response to the growing external pressures and the failed attempt to seize the heart, Earth's leadership convened an emergency summit. Arya was asked to participate via secure communication to provide first-hand insight into the situation on Europa. In the secure conference room of the base, Arya prepared to address the global leaders. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing the assembled faces of presidents, prime ministers, and military chiefs, all waiting to hear from her. She took a deep breath, the weight of her words not lost on her. "Ladies and gentlemen," Arya began, her voice steady despite the nerves, "the alien heart is not just a tool or a weapon. It is a sentient being, one that has shown us both the potential for life's flourishing and the dire consequences of its misuse. We have been given a chance to learn, to better ourselves and our approach to the universe. This opportunity comes with great responsibility." The leaders listened, their expressions a mixture of interest and skepticism. Some were clearly anxious about the implications of a sentient artifact with the power to influence ecological and planetary systems. General Marrow, representing Earth's military interests, voiced his concern. "Captain Jensen, while your discoveries are indeed extraordinary, we must consider the security implications. How do we ensure that this power does not fall into the wrong hands? What measures can we put in place to protect Earth and its allies?" Arya responded, "General, the best defense we have is not to wield the heart as a weapon, but to understand and respect it. It has already defended itself and the base against hostile actions, which suggests it has its own measures for self-protection." Dr. Lena Crow added her perspective to the conversation. "Our interactions with the heart have taught us about balance and sustainability. It reacts to aggression with defense, but it has also shown a willingness to communicate and educate. We need a policy of engagement that reflects that understanding." The debate that followed was intense. Various factions argued for everything from militarizing the heart's technology to establishing a multinational scientific consortium to oversee its study. Arya and Lena advocated for a balanced approach that prioritized scientific inquiry and international cooperation under strict ethical guidelines. As the summit progressed, a consensus began to form around establishing an international custodianship for the alien heart. This body would include representatives from a broad spectrum of nations and disciplines, tasked with the stewardship and ethical management of the heart's interactions and capabilities. Once the summit concluded, Arya felt a cautious optimism. The agreement wasn't perfect, but it was a step toward the responsible handling of the heart. However, the real challenge still lay ahead, implementing the agreement in the face of continued interest and potential aggression from various powers. Back on Europa, the base resumed its usual rhythm, but with an increased sense of purpose. The team expanded their research efforts, using the insights gained from the heart to explore new environmental and technological applications. Arya, now also a representative on the international custodianship, worked tirelessly to ensure that the policies being developed were in line with their discoveries and the heart's demonstrated desires. As days turned into weeks, Arya noticed a subtle shift in the heart's activity. It began to interact more frequently, its emissions becoming more complex and varied. It seemed to be responding to the new environment of cooperation and respect that the team fostered. One evening, as Arya walked through the silent corridors of the base, she felt a profound connection with the heart. It was as if it acknowledged her efforts and those of her team. The glow from the heart seemed warmer, its pulsing rhythm more like a heartbeat than ever before. Arya paused, looking back at the path they had taken, filled with challenges and uncertainties, yet leading them to a deeper understanding of not just the heart, but of what humanity could aspire to be. She realized then that their journey with the alien heart was far from over. It was evolving just as they were, in this dance of cosmic interaction. Arya was ready to continue this journey wherever it might lead, driven by a commitment to stewardship and a hopeful vision for the future. In the weeks following the establishment of the international custodianship for the alien heart, the research base on Europa experienced a significant transformation. New modules were added, expanding the living quarters and laboratories to accommodate the influx of scientists, diplomats, and security personnel from around the globe. The once isolated outpost had become a bustling hub of activity, a microcosm of Earth's diversity and collaborative potential. Arya Jensen found herself in a dual role. She was both the base's commander and a key figure in the newly formed custodianship. Her days were filled with coordinating defense strategies, overseeing research initiatives, and mediating between the various international interests that now converged on Europa. The alien heart itself seemed to thrive in this new environment of heightened scientific inquiry and respectful engagement. Its communications became increasingly sophisticated, providing the team with detailed data about its previous interactions with other civilizations and environments. Dr. Lena Crow and Dr. Simon Marek were at the forefront of this research, decoding complex patterns that suggested the heart had once been part of a network of similar artifacts, each playing a role in stabilizing the ecosystems of their respective planets. This revelation had profound implications. It suggested a level of technological and ecological sophistication far beyond current human capabilities. The heart was not just a repository of advanced knowledge, it was a tool designed for planetary stewardship. This understanding deepened the commitment of the custodianship to not only protect the heart, but also to learn from it and apply its principles to Earth and beyond. However, the more they learned, the more apparent it became that the heart was not without its own vulnerabilities. One afternoon, as Arya reviewed security footage, she noticed subtle fluctuations in the heart's energy output. Concerned, she called an emergency meeting with the scientific team. "Lena, Simon, the heart's energy levels have been fluctuating more than usual. Are we doing something that might be causing this?" Arya asked, her brow furrowed as she displayed the energy readings on the screen. Dr. Crow exchanged a worried glance with Dr. Marek. "We've been observing this too, Arya. It coincides with an increase in our testing protocols. It's possible that the heart is reacting to the intensified scrutiny," Lena explained. Simon added, "The heart could be signaling distress. We've theorized that it operates within a delicate balance. By pushing it too hard, we might be disrupting its equilibrium." The team agreed to scale back their experiments, giving the heart time to stabilize. This decision was communicated to the custodianship, emphasizing the need for a cautious approach to their research efforts. The response was a directive that all activities at the base undergo rigorous ethical review, ensuring that their scientific curiosity did not endanger the artifact. As the new policies took effect, Arya noticed a gradual return to normalcy in the heart's behaviors. This period of calm allowed her to focus on strengthening the base's defenses. Recent events had shown that not all parties were content to abide by the custodianship's agreements. The risk of another attempt to seize the heart was always present, and Arya was determined to be prepared. She worked closely with Lieutenant Soren to implement advanced surveillance systems and to conduct regular security drills. The base was not just a research facility. It was a fortress guarding one of the most significant discoveries in human history. One evening, as Arya patrolled the perimeter of the base, she reflected on the incredible journey they had undertaken. From the initial awe-inspiring discovery of the heart to its current role as a catalyst for global cooperation, the journey had reshaped her understanding of leadership and responsibility. She felt a profound connection to the heart, not just as its protector, but as its student. As the icy winds of Europa howled around her, Arya looked up at the stars, feeling a deep sense of peace mixed with anticipation. The universe was vast, filled with mysteries and wonders yet to be discovered. And here, on this remote moon, they had found a key to unlocking some of those mysteries. The future was uncertain, but Arya felt ready to face whatever challenges it brought, guided by the wisdom of the alien heart. The tranquility that had descended upon the Europa research base was punctuated by a groundbreaking discovery. Dr. Lena Crow and Dr. Simon Marek, through a series of delicate experiments designed to minimize strain on the alien heart, had uncovered a direct method for interfacing with its communication system. This breakthrough promised not only deeper insights into the heart's knowledge and capabilities, but also a revolutionary way to apply these findings practically across human and alien technologies. Arya Jensen attended the demonstration of this new interface technology, watching intently as Lena and Simon initiated a connection with the alien heart. The artifact responded with a surge of light and energy that filled the chamber, its pulsating glow synchronizing with the rhythms of the device they had constructed. "Observe how the heart's emissions change as we adjust the interface parameters," Simon explained, his voice tinged with excitement. "We're not just receiving data now, we're actually conversing with it." Lena added, "It's like unlocking a language that's been hidden away for millennia. Each response helps us to refine our understanding and ask better questions." The implications were staggering. With this level of communication, they could potentially tap into the heart's vast reservoir of ecological and technological wisdom, gaining insights into sustainable living that could be replicated on Earth and other colonized worlds. However, the success of the interface also meant that the alien heart was more vulnerable than ever. Its abilities, once fully understood, could tempt those with less noble intentions. Arya, fully aware of this risk, took immediate steps to enhance security protocols around the new technology. She coordinated with Lieutenant Soren to implement additional layers of encryption on all data transmissions and increased the guard presence around the lab. Amid these security enhancements, the base received an unexpected communication from Earth. A coalition of nations that had remained skeptical of the international custodianship's intentions now expressed their interest in sending their own representatives to Europa. They cited the need for transparency and the sharing of knowledge as their primary concerns. Arya approached this development with caution. "We must welcome their interest as a sign of engagement," she said during a meeting with the custodianship's board, "but remain vigilant. Our priority is to protect the alien heart and ensure it is not exploited." As preparations were made to receive the new delegates, Arya found herself reflecting on the broader impact of their mission. What began as a protective operation had evolved into a profound dialogue with an ancient intelligence, one that could guide humanity to a brighter, more sustainable future. The balance between sharing this knowledge and safeguarding it was delicate and required a careful, thoughtful approach. The arrival of the delegates brought new dynamics to the base. Each representative brought their own perspectives and priorities, challenging the existing protocols and pushing for more direct access to the alien heart. Arya, ever the diplomat, worked to bridge these differing views, fostering a collaborative environment while firmly maintaining the security measures that protected the heart. During one tense discussion, a delegate from a consortium of environmental restoration projects challenged the existing research strategies. If the alien heart holds the key to reversing ecological damage, we need to prioritize those applications now, the delegate argued passionately. Arya acknowledged the urgency, but emphasized the need for careful study. Rushing this process could lead to mistakes that we can't undo, she cautioned. We have one chance to get this right. Let's not be driven by desperation. As the debate continued, Arya facilitated a series of workshops and discussions that allowed each delegate to voice their concerns and contribute their expertise. These sessions led to a revised framework for collaboration, one that balanced the urgent need for ecological solutions with the imperative to protect and learn from the alien heart responsibly. Through these discussions, Arya not only managed to uphold the security and integrity of their mission, but also inspired a shared vision for the future. The research base on Europa had become more than a scientific outpost. It was a beacon of hope, a testament to what could be achieved when humanity united in pursuit of common goals. As she walked through the bustling corridors of the base, Arya felt a profound sense of accomplishment and purpose. Here in the cold reaches of space, they were laying the groundwork for a new era of interstellar stewardship, guided by the wisdom of an ancient artifact whose voice had not been heard until now. Amidst the bustling activity and burgeoning partnerships at the Europa base, Arya Jensen continued to navigate the complex layers of international politics and scientific discovery. Each day brought new challenges and revelations from the alien heart, deepening their understanding of its capabilities and history. However, not all challenges were external. Internal dynamics within the base began to show signs of strain as the scope of the project expanded. The research team was the first to feel the pressure. Dr. Lena Crow and Dr. Simon Marek, once exhilarated by their breakthroughs, now faced the daunting task of managing an ever-growing pile of data while also accommodating the increasing demands of the new international partners. The balance between exploration and exploitation became a daily struggle, with each delegate pushing for their agenda. Seeing the tension, Arya convened a private meeting with Lena and Simon. "I know we're under a lot of pressure," she began, her tone both firm and empathetic. "But we can't lose sight of why we're here. It's not just about what the alien heart can do for us. It's about what we can learn about living in harmony with our environment." Lena nodded, weary but resolute. "You're right, Arya. It feels like we're being pulled in 100 different directions. We need to refocus on our core mission, understanding the heart, not just using it." Simon added, "Perhaps we need to set clearer boundaries and priorities for our work. The risk of burnout is real, and we can't afford to lose our way now." Heartened by their unity, Arya took their concerns to the Custodianship Council, proposing a structured timetable that allocated research resources more effectively, while also setting aside time for the team to review and consolidate their findings. Her initiative was met with approval, and soon a new working rhythm was established, one that allowed for both productive inquiry and necessary reflection. However, as internal pressures began to ease, external threats loomed larger. Surveillance drones had picked up unusual activity on the fringes of the base's security perimeter, an indicator that not all interested parties were content with the diplomatic approach. Arya reviewed the footage with Lieutenant Soren, who had been upgrading the base's defense systems. "It looks like we're dealing with more than just passive observation," Soren pointed out, highlighting several instances where the drones seemed to probe their defenses. "Whoever they are, they're testing our responses, looking for weaknesses." With this new threat identified, Arya implemented a series of defensive drills, involving everyone at the base. She knew that the presence of the alien heart on Europa made them a target, and she was determined to protect it from any who might seek to exploit or harm it. The drills were just underway when the base's alarm system blared into life, signaling an unauthorized approach. Arya and her security team suited up and moved out, locating a small, unmanned vehicle attempting to breach the perimeter. With precision and calm, they disabled the vehicle and secured it for examination. Analysis of the vehicle revealed it was equipped with sophisticated espionage technology. It wasn't just passive surveillance, it was an active attempt to infiltrate their systems. This escalation confirmed Arya's fears. The stakes were higher now, and the alien heart's allure was drawing dangerous elements. Determined to safeguard the artifact and their research, Aria convened an emergency session of the custodianship. She presented the evidence of the attempted breach and laid out a comprehensive security overhaul that included enhanced cyber defenses, increased patrols, and tighter access controls. "Our mission here is unique," Aria addressed the assembly, "and it requires us to be vigilant against threats, both seen and unseen. The heart is not just a source of scientific knowledge, it's a beacon of what we can achieve when we work together for the common good. Let's ensure we protect it as diligently as we study it." With renewed resolve and a fortified base, Aria felt confident that they were prepared for whatever challenges came next. But as the sun set over Europa's icy landscape, she couldn't shake the feeling that the true test of their commitment to the alien heart and each other was still to come. The emergency measures Aria Jensen had put in place following the breach significantly tightened the security around the Europa base. Enhanced surveillance and increased patrols became the new norm, establishing a rigorous regime that deterred further incursions. Despite these precautions, the atmosphere within the base grew tense as the reality of their precarious situation settled in among the team members. Aria knew that maintaining morale was just as crucial as reinforcing physical defenses. She organized a series of town hall meetings with the base personnel, discussing not only security updates, but also the broader implications of their work with the alien heart. These forums provided a space for open dialogue, allowing team members to voice their concerns and suggestions. It was during one of these meetings that a significant shift occurred. Dr. Lena Crow presented the latest findings from the research team, revealing that the alien heart had the ability to regenerate damaged ecosystems, a discovery that had profound implications for environmental restoration projects across Earth and other colonized worlds. The news brought a wave of excitement and renewed purpose to the base, reminding everyone of the positive impact their work could have. "Imagine," Lena said, her eyes alight with passion, "using the heart's principles to heal the Earth's ravaged landscapes, or to restore balance to ecosystems on Mars. We have in our hands not just a tool, but a blueprint for harmony between technology and nature." Inspired by Lena's presentation, Aria proposed a new initiative, Project Harmonize. This project would focus on applying the lessons learned from the alien heart to real-world ecological challenges. It would also serve as a testament to what could be achieved when humanity united behind a common cause. The project quickly gained unanimous support from the Custodianship Council and became a central part of their mission. However, as preparations for Project Harmonize began, unexpected challenges arose. The technology needed to implement the heart's principles was complex and required precise engineering. Furthermore, the international scrutiny of their work intensified, with various governments and organizations pushing to gain access to their findings. Amid these pressures, a diplomatic crisis erupted. A powerful consortium of mining corporations, fearing that the ecological applications of the alien heart might threaten their industrial activities, began lobbying against Project Harmonize. Their influence was significant, and soon political leaders on Earth were drawn into a heated debate over the future direction of the project. Aria watched these developments closely, aware that the balance they had achieved could easily tip into conflict. She reached out to her contacts within the Earth government, advocating strongly for the project's potential benefits. At the same time, she strengthened alliances with environmental groups and scientific communities, rallying a broad base of support. As the debate raged on, Aria prepared for the possibility that they might have to defend not just the alien heart, but the very principles it stood for. She reviewed the base's defensive capabilities, ensuring they were ready for any eventuality. Her leadership during this time was a beacon for the team, inspiring them to remain focused on their goals despite the external turmoil. The turning point came when Aria was invited to speak at a global summit on Earth, broadcast live to billions. Standing before the world's leaders, she spoke not just as a military officer, but as a global citizen, passionately detailing the transformative potential of Project Harmonize. "Our work with the alien heart has shown us a new path forward," Aria declared, her voice resonant and clear. "One that does not sacrifice the environment for progress, but integrates the two for the benefit of all. We have a choice today, to embrace a future where technology heals, not harms, a future where our children can thrive in a restored world. Her speech was met with widespread acclaim, tipping public opinion in favor of Project Harmonize. The mining consortium's influence waned as governments began to see the potential for positive change, leading to a series of agreements that secured funding and international support for the project. Back on Europa, as Arya watched Earth's lights glimmering from afar, she felt a profound connection to the heart, which seemed to pulse in sync with her own hopes. The battle for understanding and respect for the artifact's message had been hard won, but as she looked to the future, she was filled with a sense of optimism and purpose. The real work of healing was just beginning, and she was ready to lead the way. The initiation of Project Harmonize marked a new era of cooperation and environmental stewardship. But as the project gained momentum, the security concerns that Arya Jensen had anticipated became all too real. Despite the global support and the clear benefits of their work, there were still factions that viewed the alien heart's capabilities as a threat to their interests or a tool to be exploited. Just as Project Harmonize was preparing for its first major public demonstration, Arya received intelligence about a potential security threat. A covert group known for industrial sabotage had been increasingly active, and their latest communications intercepted by Earth's security agencies suggested they were planning something significant. The target, Arya feared, could very well be the Europa base. Arya convened an urgent meeting with her security team and key research personnel. "We have credible threats that could jeopardize not just our project, but everyone here at the base," she explained, her expression grim. "We must increase our vigilance and prepare for any scenario." Lieutenant Soren, now a seasoned officer under Arya's command, coordinated a series of advanced tactical simulations for the base personnel. They rehearsed everything from evacuation procedures to hostile engagement, ensuring that every member of the base was prepared and alert. As the team fortified their defenses, the researchers continued their work, albeit under heightened security. Dr. Lena Crow and Dr. Simon Marek worked tirelessly to finalize the demonstration of the heart's capabilities, which promised to showcase its ability to cleanse soil and water on a scale previously unimaginable. The day of the demonstration arrived. Representatives from various Earth governments, environmental agencies, and the press had traveled to a specially prepared site on Mars, where the project's technology would be showcased. Arya, though focused on security, also shared in the team's excitement and pride. This was their chance to show the world the positive power of the alien heart. As the demonstration began, the technology, derived from the principles of the alien heart, functioned flawlessly. Polluted water and soil were introduced into the system, and within minutes they were purified, leaving the onlookers in awe. The success of the demonstration was broadcast live, capturing the attention of billions across the solar system. However, just as the celebration was about to begin, the base on Europa went into lockdown. The surveillance systems detected multiple unauthorized entries. The group they had been warned about had made their move, attempting to infiltrate the base while key personnel were focused on Mars. Arya was prepared. She coordinated the defense from a secure control room, directing her teams with precision. "Lock down all critical areas, activate all defensive measures. Let's keep them contained until we can neutralize the threat," she ordered, her voice calm but authoritative. The base's defenses responded as designed, and the intruders found themselves trapped and unable to reach their objectives. Arya's security teams moved in, systematically neutralizing the threat in a display of efficiency and preparedness. Once the situation was under control, Arya addressed the base personnel, her tone one of reassurance and resolve. "Today, we've not only demonstrated the potential of Project Harmonize, but also the strength of our commitment to protecting this endeavor," she declared. "Let this be a message to anyone who thinks they can deter or destroy what we are trying to build here. We will not be intimidated." The aftermath of the attack led to increased security measures across all sites related to Project Harmonize, but the incident did not dampen the spirits of those involved. Instead, it reinforced the importance of their work and their determination to succeed. As Arya reviewed the reports and ensured that the base returned to normal operations, She felt a deep sense of pride in her team's resilience and capability. They had faced numerous challenges, but each one had only strengthened their resolve. Looking out over the icy landscape of Europa, Arya reflected on the journey they had undertaken. From the first discovery of the alien heart to its role as a harbinger of a new understanding between technology and nature, they had changed the course of human history. With the successful demonstration and the secure handling of the attack, she knew they were ready for whatever came next. The path ahead was clear, and Arya was ready to lead, with the wisdom of the alien heart guiding them towards a brighter future. The successful defense against the sabotage attempt and the worldwide acclaim for the demonstration of Project Harmonize's capabilities marked a pivotal moment for the Europa base and its mission. Captain Arya Jensen, standing at the helm of this groundbreaking project, felt a profound sense of accomplishment and optimism. However, she knew that their journey was far from over. It was time to solidify the future of their work and ensure the safety and ethical use of the alien heart's technology. In the wake of recent events, the International Custodianship convened a special session attended by world leaders, environmental experts, and representatives from various interplanetary communities. The agenda was clear: to discuss the expansion of Project Harmonize and to establish a formal treaty that would protect and regulate the use of the alien heart's technology. Arya was invited to speak, a recognition of her crucial role in navigating the project through its challenges. Standing before the assembly, Arya presented a vision for the future. The alien heart has shown us a new way forward, one that reconciles human advancement with the preservation of our natural world. Today, we stand at a crossroads. Let us choose the path of stewardship and cooperation. Her speech resonated with the delegates, many of whom had witnessed the transformative potential of the technology firsthand. Discussions that followed were intense but productive, culminating in the drafting of the Terra Nova Accord. This landmark treaty outlined strict guidelines for the deployment of the technology, ensuring that it would be used solely for ecological restoration and sustainability projects. Moreover, it established a new oversight body, governed jointly by the custodianship and an assembly of planetary representatives, to monitor and guide the implementation of Project Harmonize across various worlds. As the treaty was ratified, Arya felt a surge of hope. The agreement was more than a set of legal parameters. It was a commitment by humanity and its allies to pursue a future defined by respect for life in all its forms. Back on Europa, the base continued to evolve. The research team, led by Dr. Lena Crow and Dr. Simon Marek, developed the first of many offshoot technologies inspired by the alien heart. These innovations ranged from advanced water purification systems to atmospheric regulators, all designed to reverse environmental damage and promote biodiversity. Trials on Earth and other colonies showed promising results, and the technology was soon to be deployed on a wider scale. Amidst these developments, Arya took a moment to visit the alien heart. The chamber where it resided was now a quiet sanctuary, a stark contrast to the flurry of activity outside. As she stood before the pulsating artifact, she felt an unspoken bond, a deep connection forged through their shared experiences. She whispered her thanks to the heart, not just for its gifts, but for the lessons it had taught her about leadership, responsibility, and hope. In the following months, Arya oversaw the establishment of training programs for teams that would implement the heart's technology across different environments. These teams, composed of scientists, environmentalists, and community leaders, were the first wave of a new kind of planetary stewardship. Arya herself planned to visit several of these projects, sharing her experiences and insights, and ensuring that the spirit of cooperation and respect that had characterized their work on Europa was carried forward. As the sun set over Europa's icy horizon, casting a soft glow over the landscape, Arya stood at the edge of the base, looking out into the vastness of space. The challenges they had faced seemed immense, yet they had overcome them with unity and determination. The future was undoubtedly filled with more challenges, but as she gazed at the stars, Arya felt ready to meet them. With the alien heart continuing to guide their efforts, she was confident that they were on the right path, a path that would lead humanity to a better understanding of itself and its place in the cosmos. Reflecting on her journey, Aria realized that the true legacy of the alien heart was not just the technology it had inspired or the environmental healing it would facilitate. It was the change it had sparked in the hearts and minds of all who had come to know it, a change that promised to echo through generations, guiding them towards a harmonious existence with the universe around them. As night fell on Europa, she turned back to the base, her spirit buoyed by a resilient hope, ready to lead the way into this new era.